Welcome into a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Geaux Chevrolet. Online, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Stop in, see Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and the crew. Tons to get to over the next couple of hours here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Might have to cut out a little early. Got to take little Jay to an opening day of camp.
We got camps, dude. It's summer
Always
camps.
looking for a camp.
That's right. No, it's a chance to get better.
No, it's actually it's like a service camp.
Oh, cool.
It's at United Methodist this morning.
Oh, yeah.
The 4-day camp.
Yeah.
They go like the Baton Rouge Food Bank this week.
Yeah,
and
the little
mission,
youth mission thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
resume builder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not all sports over here.
I'm sure there's a basketball out there somewhere.
Yes, there is.
And he'll find it.
There is.
You could keep that on the resume forever.
First summer of Dixie basketball camp for little Jay this
There
summer.
we go.
All right, we're jam-packed coming up here on this Monday morning. Representative John Stefanski is going to be inside of the UDL. Tons to get to with the representative as he will be here talking sports betting, name, image, and likeness, marijuana, also gambling as far as what it would look like in the fall. Also, we want to talk to Stefanski about what's happening with this name, image, and likeness bill, obviously, because it goes through the floor today. So the representative will be inside of the UDL. Mason Katz will be here over the phone line at 7:15 this morning. Former All-American slugger for the LSU Tigers will chime in on what LSU accomplished over the weekend. We will look forward to the championship game tonight out in Eugene. LSU kind of feels like they're sitting in the driver's seat.
Yeah, 2-1 odds are looking good right now.
Playing loose.
If you would have played that late night ball, that 9 p.m. tip is unbelievable.
That was a lot.
Brutal, bro.
I didn't make it through the whole thing.
Brutal. I didn't make it through the second inning.
I mean, I barely made it through the first one.
I made it longer than both of you.
I mean, we got reviews on hit batters. We don't know what's going on. So good luck, baseball. But we'll be there. We'll be there tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm tuned in.
We'll be there for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Mason Katz will stop by here at 7:15 this morning. We will talk recruiting, as it was an enormous recruiting weekend for the entire sport of college football, but specifically down here in Baton Rouge. LSU was able to have a who's who of high school football recruiting on campus, as the Tigers were able to see a lot of their commitments on campus, bring in some new faces, some 5-stars. The quarterback of the class, Walker Howard, who's the 5-star slinger, will be here at 8 a.m. this morning. We will give him a call. Remember, everybody who appears via the phone lines is compliments of Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions, Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan. Speaking of Ramo, Mr. Funds Travel got an opportunity to get to the UCLA LSU game, the opener, September 4th in Los Angeles. We'll be making the trip. If you want to make the trip, get on to MrFundsTravel.com and reserve your spot. That's hotel, tickets, airfare, all of it bundled up into one big package for you from Mr. Funds Travel. Check it out online at MrFundsTravel.com. Our brews,
Brews?
Whoa. Our coffee.
He's brewed.
Our coffee is
I'll take a brew.
brewed locally.
Keep this train rolling from the weekend.
And in South Louisiana over at Majestic Brews, as you can get your coffee online at delicioussips.com. Katie is back. She is a little under the weather outside of the contagious stage.
Yeah, no fever today.
She was actually back on Thursday. Could have been here on Friday, but send the first of what has been a weekend full of excuses for the Jordy Culotta
I know,
Show.
yeah.
Right.
Boys are getting a little comfortable.
On Thursday, Katie was sick. On Sunday,
legit.
yours does sound legit.
Were her and John Rahm in the same room? We don't know.
No COVID for you, right?
No COVID. I did a COVID test. No COVID. I got scared. You go to Florida, you take your mask off, and you come back.
Yeah, you come back with either
And
pregnant or with
Taken over a
COVID.
year.
The two college kids come with some college excuses.
Summer.
Jack's got a transmission. Noah's got a flat tire.
All of a sudden, they know
Said,
so
"Fellas,
much.
you should have just told me that the dog ate your homework. I get it.
All of a sudden, they know so much about cars, transmission, tires.
That's right. But it is good to have you back. How was the
Thank
beach?
you. It was great.
Yes.
It was good to be there.
Lots of
people, very normal.
Yeah.
Good
Very
weather.
Normal. Perfect weather every day.
Not so much here in South Louisiana.
I know.
I thought the Great Flood was coming back
Oh,
yesterday,
no.
dude. I was driving back from Lafayette, and I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it.
Oh.
It
What
just
is
would
the
not
deal?
stop.
Rain here.
Rain. It is just out of control.
It's
Supposed
a
to rain
lot.
all week?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, why not? Remember to check out the Jordy Culotta Show online at jordyculotta.show.com. You can also pick up your merchandise there. Speaking of the rain, we've got great rainwear that was produced by Southern Marsh. If you want to check it out right there at jordy.itemorder.com or online at jordyculotta.show.com. So Mason Katz, Representative John Stefanski, and Walker Howard all coming up here this morning on the Jordy Culotta Show. Looking forward to our conversation there. We mentioned the recruiting weekend that LSU football experienced. If you kept up with this, we were retweeting and posting on our Instagram just some of the pictures that were coming out of LSU over the weekend. And, I mean, it was everybody. Anybody who was anybody in recruiting was in Baton Rouge this weekend, including the majority of the commitments that are pledged to this 22 class were on hand. But names like Shamar Stewart, the 5-star defensive end from Florida, was in town over the weekend. He was another one that came in and picked up an experience for LSU. You saw guys leave the state this weekend, like Le'Veon Moss, who's the talented running back from Estruma, right here in Baton Rouge. Went to Alabama this weekend.
Was that a big surprise?
I think so. No, I don't think that it was a big surprise that he went for the weekend. I mean,
The commitment.
the commitment though was surprising when you just talk about how much he means to Ogeron and Kevin Falk, the running backs coach. But there is talented running backs in the state that you can replace Moss with. But I know that Moss was on top of LSU's board as far as the running backs were concerned, and really probably caught LSU a little off guard. But that's kind of what Saban does. He gets you on campus. He makes you understand how valuable you are, but he also makes you understand that the scholarships are just as valuable. So if you take a spot, he expects you to stay with it, but he also is pressuring you in that position like he was yesterday to take that spot. Like, if you don't take it, I can't keep it for you. If you want to go to Alabama, here's your opportunity. If you want to commit right now, we'll gladly take you. If you leave here, I can't promise you that this scholarship is going to be here the next time I see you. It's some Saban Jedi mind trick shit that he does with you.
Get on the bus or get off the bus. I can't promise there's another seat when it comes back around.
And the entire time he's talking to you in his office, he's got the rings laid out on the coffee table. I mean, I think we've seen some recruits shoot some pictures out.
I sent you all a picture of it.
I mean, you saw it.
My sister-in-law's nephew, yeah.
That's
all the rings.
That's the environment. You know,
it's insane.
I mean,
like, how do you say no to that?
Exactly. I mean, how do you say no to the Godfather when he's asking you to join the mafia? You know what I mean? Like, in his office.
Yeah.
You know,
This could be very bad for you, very good for you.
It's exactly right. I mean, so Le'Veon Moss, by no means do I think his recruiting is over. I think that LSU, if nothing else, this usually lights the fire to the teams that are in competition. Come in, sir. My man's got full carte blanche access. That's Stefanski. We probably want to bring him in.
What's that?
Yeah, come on in.
I don't think that is.
I don't think that was him. No, that was a shorter man.
Okay, it might be a contractor.
It might be.
Hopefully, that is a contractor. You want to get on that? You want to help that? All right, so we will see there. LSU Baseball, the Tigers, of course, yesterday. How about Javon Coleman?
Dude, when you need it the most, comes
mean,
in and shuts the door. I didn't know what we were going to do.
Me either. I mean, what are they doing tonight?
I guess it's Johnny Holstaff. Huh?
Okay. But last night, Coleman, 6 relief innings on Sunday night that gave LSU a 4-1 win over Oregon that now sets up a winner-take-all game. And I think this is what we talked about going into the weekend. If LSU can get into a one-game scenario with this lineup, with the way that they're hitting the ball, I mean, Dylan Cruz, bro.
My God, dude. We
Lord.
were playing a little game on the pre-wedding party. And, anytime we just get a little booze cruise. Anytime he hit a tank, we took a shot, and it turns out he hit 2. So we were already drinking anyway, but it just made it a little bit more fun. And that's how you watch baseball.
We were already drinking anyway.
It was, but Tigers look great. I thought it really. Going into the weekend, this is kind of the feeling around LSU that we thought was going to be there. A very loose, relaxed team, and they are playing almost with house money. It seems like they're playing with house money in the way that they're playing, in the way that they're swinging the bat. I mean, that defensive play Trey Morgan made, that
He's
Willie
all over
Mays
the
style
place,
play.
yes.
I mean, that was incredible, dude. Just the hands on that cat.
Not only that play, but the way he's picking everything at first base off that turf, he's getting those hot skips, and he's handling it like a pro. Like they're throwing pretty much. You can tell the confidence they have at him because they'll wheel and deal and just turn and throw, and they're like, he can handle it. And he's mad at himself if he misses any of them.
Yeah.
And he's making impossible plays over there. He's a run saver. Like he ends innings just by himself by being able to handle the throws that they throw at him at first.
Is Marceau available today?
I think the bunker will probably figure it out before we will.
Well, I mean, I'm looking inside of the bunker right now, and McCormick, Jesse McCormick is saying Will Helmers could be a possibility, which would make sense. But Adam Contreras says don't be shocked if Landon Marceau gets the ball tonight.
Little Clayton Kershaw, like
possibly.
off short rest, let
How many
him go.
did he throw on Friday night?
6, 7?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll check on that. But, I mean, this is the type of game. This is the type of scenario where you do some stuff like that.
You have to. Yeah, let's get to a super.
Remember.
Where's this team been, though? Am I the only one asking that or thinking that? Like, this is the LSU baseball team that I've always watched.
This is what they always do.
Look, I think their schedule was brutal.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was murderer's row. We had to get out the SEC.
You just couldn't get, and there was no room for there was no room to hide. There was no weekend where you went and got your teeth kicked in for Vanderbilt. And you could maybe go to Missouri for the weekend or something. I mean, they would turn around and have to go to Tennessee, or Arkansas was coming in, or Vanderbilt was coming in, or you had to go to Ole Miss or Mississippi State or Georgia. I mean, just it was one after another, man. And when your confidence is shaken in baseball, and it was obvious that Mainieri was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that decision just didn't pop up on Friday, right? I mean, that thing has been weighing on him for months, maybe over a year, in the sense of, when am I going to do this? When am I going to make this announcement? When is it going to become so evident that it affects the way my team played? And I think he saw that this season.
Yeah.
I mean, like the remarks of not being able to throw BP, not being able to get out there and hit every fungo. I mean, that's stuff that means a lot to a baseball coach, and you're just not able to relationship build. I mean, that's what that is. I mean, they see you, you see them, you're laughing.
It's the camaraderie part of it
I mean,
all.
you're kind of just breaking down your personalities and getting to know one another. And now that he's opened up and showed a human moment where he's kind of broken down and shown the pain, everything that he's gone through, I think people are like, okay, now we get it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just go out there and play baseball.
Right.
And when LSU does that, when you just look at their roster, their line, I mean, they got dogs. They got cats that can play, man. I hated that they couldn't give Marceau any run support on Friday night. This could be a different series, obviously, and a different weekend. But, you got your back up against the wall, and LSU usually does their best work when they're in this scenario. I mean, Mainieri's got more wins in this situation than he's got the Sam Houston States and Coastal Carolinas. I mean, the reason why those stand out is because he's usually taking care of business in this situation. One game scenario, life on the line, your opportunity to keep your coach's season alive for a couple of more weeks. I think LSU wins the game. I mean, just the way that the style that they're playing. I mean, that doesn't die in 24 hours. I mean, if you're Oregon looking on the other side, you're thinking, oh, shit.
Yeah, the tables have turned quickly.
I mean, LSU baseball is playing loose at our house.
Coming off a walk-off, then they play us and beat us soundly, and now we have to go play them again. Like, it's tough to go in there and win a doubleheader like the way they did. And then now they're hot. Like, there's no bones about it that LSU baseball team is hot.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me is your boy, Geaux. Because he changes the lineup. If he's not in there, it kind of puts it just puts a big.
I mean, Paisan, take a shot for the team today, man.
Wrap that hammy, dude.
Shoot it up.
We don't want street clothes out there. Come on, boy.
All right, let's link up with Mason Katz here. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Geaux Chevrolet. Stop in and see the crew. We're good over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. GEAUXChevrolet.com. Used car lot here in Florida Boulevard. The former Slugger, All-American. Katsy, good morning. How are you, buddy? We're live.
Good morning, man. How's it going?
Good to catch up with you, man.
Always a pleasure.
Real quick, let's start here. Paul Mainieri made the announcement on Friday. We just said the team looks like they're playing loose because of it. You played for Mainieri. He recruited you. What did you think of the announcement? And did that surprise somebody like you who knew him as well as you do?
I don't know if it totally surprised me. I think, like he mentioned, he hasn't really been able to coach the same. Or when I remember when I was there, he was so hands-on. Did infield drills with us, through batting practice like he was a big league ace trying to strike everybody out. He was full force trying to put pressure on us in practice, and I think that matters for him. You know, he felt like he couldn't really give everything he had to coaching anymore. I think it would be time for him, and I think he's going to be happy about it.
What do you think of this roster? What do you think of this team? Like, this doesn't the record is not an indication of who LSU is here in 2021, correct?
Correct. I think this is one of those scary rosters that if they just kind of come together at the right time, like it sort of looks like they're coming together a little bit. They're one of those scary teams that could make a run. Their lineup, I mean, they have some studs. I think everybody knows Dylan Cruz is a superstar, and Trey Morgan as well. And then you got some guys that can just, you know, you add one more guy. Cade Doty gets a little bit hot here on the stretch. They're a very, very scary team.
So if you're in that Oregon dugout, you're nervous as hell?
I would be. I mean, it's a team with nothing to lose who kind of came in, barely snuck into the playoffs, but they have a roster full of guys who were stars, and if they kind of just piece it together now, it would be a scary thing if I'm a regional host against that team coming in.
What do you see when you see Dylan Cruz? He reminds me a little bit of you, that short, compact swing that it jumps off the bat. The next thing, I mean, a blink of the eye, and the ball is out of the yard. He's on fire right now. What does Cruz do in the leadoff spot for LSU?
Well, first off, I appreciate the somewhat comparison. I wish I had that much talent. No, he's just a table setter. He's a guy who, on most teams, could easily be the three-hole guy who's going to drive in 75 to 80 runs, but he's your table setter who can almost put a run up on the board before the game starts.
What do you anticipate tonight on the mound?
You know, I don't know. I haven't seen. Have they announced who they're pitching?
They haven't.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably going to be some sort of Johnny Holstaff. But in that situation, when the team gets out, just like yesterday when that freshman came in and threw 6 unbelievable innings, you get one guy who gets a hot hand on the mound with the way their lineup's kind of coming together. You know, it's a game that you can win. I'm imagining he's going to do a lot of matchups and bounce around. I don't know if he has any plans of, you know, using Marceau at all. You know, I wouldn't see necessarily maybe starting him, but you get kind of late in the game to be able to control his pitch count. You bring him in if you have a chance to win.
Can you illustrate to our listeners how fun this time of the year is for a college baseball player, or just how cool this experience is of playing this time of the year?
Oh my gosh, it's a feeling that you don't forget. I still watching it. I feel like I'm involved. You know, I get amped up, and it's just an experience where everything you kind of worked from fall, you start kind of remembering what you did in the fall and how hard it was to going now, and then it just turns into fun. You have nothing to lose. It's just go out and play, especially playing on the road against, you know, going to a place that you usually never go at LSU. Everybody always comes to us, so it's such a fun atmosphere.
I mentioned Cruz. This freshman class has got a couple of headliners in it that really it makes the future look very bright at LSU. How good is Trey Morgan?
Again, a guy I wish I could make contact as easy as he does. He just makes it look so simple. And I think the way, you know, Coach Mainieri has always done a job tinkering with his lineups and stuff like that. And I love the way he set this up to where Cruz can hit a double almost any time, and then you have a guy who, as a freshman, hitting over 370, driving him in all the time. That's a fun next few years for LSU.
What makes Mainieri as successful as he's been in the game? What is it that he does with his teams that has caused him to have so much success in college baseball?
He's not afraid to try anything. You know, he'll throw anybody in the lineup whenever he feels like they can help the team perform. You know, scholarship dollars don't matter. High-profile guys don't matter. Now, when a guy like Dylan Cruz comes in as a high-profile guy and performs, that makes it easier. But, you know, he's not afraid to do anything from when he started his career till now. You know, I remember my year, he threw me in the SEC tournament as a freshman when I didn't really show a ton to be able to get that opportunity, but it helped. And he just does that. He'll put guys in and not afraid to put any guy in a big moment, regardless of year or stature.
If Giacomo can't go tonight, what's the plan? Because it seems like that he seems to be the cog that kind of keeps everything going. That's like the glaring hole in the lineup when he's not in it. What's your move at second base? Because that seems to be where they try to plug the hole.
I don't know. I guess what they moved Bianco to center and put the other freshman.
Yeah, Will Safford.
Yeah, and I guess if that's been your move, you kind of stick with that. I know he's usually been I know he had a rough first day, but that happens. He came in, did a good job when he came back in a later game, and I think you kind of stick with that. You stick with the guys. Bianco's been good this regional, and I think you kind of move him, and you kind of keep that same swap that you had last time.
One of the most exciting highlights in sports has to be an inside the park home run. Huh? I mean, like,
keep
your
it going,
boy
dude.
Geaux was flying, flew through the stop sign. No chance he was stopping the momentum there. How cool was that? I mean, that was the point that I really thought LSU's going to win this thing.
Yeah, especially in that situation, somebody like Dugas, who I would imagine doesn't have a ton of opportunities for inside the park.
Right.
Keep it going, dude.
Right.
It's you're round in second, you're looking towards third. You don't really see a third base coach. All you see is your whole team behind him waving you on. So that's your coach. Third base coach doesn't exist.
Right. Dude, how about Nolan Kane being aggressive on the base pass? We were talking about it a little bit yesterday. He was sending everybody, and that seems to be kind of the vibe of the team, huh? Just go and get it.
100%. Dude, I love it. It's, we kind of, since I was there, before me, after me, that's Coach Mainieri's big mantra is 2 outs, we're going to be super aggressive trying to score. It takes an outfielder fielding the ball cleanly, making an accurate throw, and then a catcher, catching it with his weird glove back there and making a tag. If it's a short hop, it's hard for a catcher. It puts pressure on them. And when you have 2 outs, you're going to stop them and bank on getting another hit. Sometimes that's the move. You just bank on everything not being perfect.
How long is today?
24 hours.
How long is today for a player, though?
For a player, very long. For LSU fans, longer because it's not going to start until 10 o'clock.
I mean, bro.
Whatever it is. But it's, yeah, man, for players, you kind of want to wake up and just be ready to play. You kind of wish the game was earlier, but Coach Mainieri, I feel like he's always done a good job with his scheduling, kind of making guys not just lounge around and be in bed all day. You kind of get up and do your breakfast thing, and then you kind of get together as a team, and I think that helps. You kind of start gearing yourself and use the same schedule that you kind of had all year on the road. You don't really change that up.
Mason Katz, let's do this again tomorrow morning. Recap tonight what happens. We'll call you at 7:15 tomorrow morning. That work?
Oh, of course. I'm hoping we're talking about a super regional bid.
That'd be great.
Wait. Do we watch Hold the Rope today? Do you think the boys put the show on again? I'm sure they've seen it about 15 times. We go somewhere else.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm sure the video team probably put together some awesome. I remember the pump up videos were always awesome before series and big games. So I'm sure they put together something that gets the guys feeling like they're about to go play for Coach O.
Let's do it.
Katsy, have a good Monday, bro. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.
Same to you guys. Appreciate it.
Former LSU All-American Mason Katz stopping by here, recapping LSU baseball as they get the win last night. Set up the Tigers in the driver's seat, or set them up for a winner-take-all tonight in Eugene versus the Ducks. 9 o'clock first pitch for LSU. ESPN2, I think, picking it up.
Oh, but dude, trying to find that game yesterday was
brutal.
Brutal. If you check Tiger droppings, I thought the place was going to melt down.
I mean,
there was 15 threads
brutal.
of how to find the game.
You had to watch it from your app, like stream it on your TV from the app.
And even on the app, you could. I mean, it was brutal.
I felt bad for whoever was in that control room. They're like, y'all don't mess with LSU baseball, dude. They're coming for your head.
Like, he was probably thinking, I didn't think anybody paid attention to college baseball.
10 o'clock at night, I'm good. Like, take a little nap, have a sandwich in my hand.
Peter, you're fired, bro.
Dude, you're in so much trouble.
That's right. All right, Captain America is in the building. Representative John Stefanski is here. A lot to talk with the representative as he crushed the gambling bill. We'll talk to him about what that's going to look like. Hopefully we can get that up and moving by the fall. Some changes in the weed bill, some updates on marijuana, and then name, image, and likeness set to take to the floor here pretty soon with the representative's name on that bill as well. So we'll get an update on NIL going in to the offseason, where we'll see a lot of states start to enact these laws for college student athletes, and what's it mean for Louisiana. Also, Walker Howard, a couple of Acadiana Tigers here, Stefanski from the Crowley area, and then St. Thomas More's own Walker Howard, who was at LSU this weekend working out for the coaches, throwing on Sunday. By all accounts, he put on a hell of a display. We'll talk to him about the recruiting weekend at 8 a.m. this morning. Remember, the Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by Edward Jones. Get in touch with Daniel Newman, daniel.newman at edwardjones.com. Let him handle the finances for you. 401k, Social Security, investments, specifically if you're working at the plants. He is an absolute beast in knowing how the finances work, can help you out. He's answered a ton of questions in that industry. Let him answer yours today. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. Representative John Stefanski next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Geaux Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Geaux Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Geaux Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Geaux Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school, so you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show live on this Monday morning, as we have got a ton to talk about here. Appreciate Mason Katz for stopping in and give us his thoughts on LSU baseball as the Tigers stayed alive. One chance and one opportunity tonight to keep their season moving for a super regional. Walker Howard will be here in about 25 minutes. The gunslinger from St. Thomas More going into his senior season, Elite 11, as he was over at LSU this weekend. With a ton to talk about. We always look forward to talking to our next guest, who is live in studio with us, Representative John Stefanski, who is, of course, a representative out of the Crowley area and is going through the legislative session right now. We've talked to him a lot about some of the issues that he has authored and seen through this legislative session. And here to give us an update here on this Monday morning is the representative. Good to see you, sir.
You as well, man. It's the last week, so I'm kind of pumped.
Has he gone by fast? I guess from your point of view, it
went by slow. Really? You know, this one did. Yeah, I'm getting worn out. It's towards the end, and there's a lot of stuff piling up back home I need to get to. So the end can't come soon enough. But we have a lot of important stuff we got to get to this week, and finally finished up, sports betting, passed the second companion bill off the House floor last week. It's actually going to get concurred in, I believe, today on the Senate. So we're done with sports betting. It's, I think, other than the governor really changing, his thought process on it, which I do not see happening. I mean, we'll have it legal. And something pretty cool, we came up with some language to do a provisional license. So we've been talking about how long it's going to take to get enacted, and it takes a while to go through the Gaming Control Board. But what we think is that if we give them the ability to issue a provisional license, meaning the Gaming Control Board, they may be able to issue those mobile licenses before you have the sports book built out. Because the sports book's going to take a while. Each casino is going to have to build out a full traditional sports book. I think one of the casinos in Lake Charles, I believe, is Golden Nugget, has like $3 million already earmarked. That as soon as this gets signed, they're starting construction. But that's going to take a while. And that's an element of being able to have one of these licenses. And so if you give them a provisional license to where, hey, you can go live on your mobile app maybe sooner, I think we're going to see it kind of mid-fall. I really do. I'm very optimistic now. I think we're going to see November-ish, October-ish. I think they're going to find a way to get this done. There's so much money on the table.
Yeah, I'm just thinking LSU football in my mind, and that's when you missed a couple of games, but if you can get it in the middle of the year, even then people will flock to the window.
Before that Alabama game,
exactly,
man,
dude. Yeah,
absolutely. But get it done in the bye week. With all the weddings.
Yeah,
that's right.
It'd be some good timing, huh? But I see that happening. I do. I think they're going to find a way.
You were one of the only persons I've ever met on this planet that can make tax reform sound interesting when you talk about it, because it was centered around a lot of what we're talking about. What was that issue?
Yeah, it's big. We passed one of our big bills was the way we collect our sales tax from a centralized standpoint. We've passed that. Now it's going to be a constitutional amendment, so the voters still have to go out and vote for that. But that's a really big deal. We're one of only 2 states that don't have that. The other one is we're looking at a corporate tax code. We're looking at a personal income tax code, trying to basically do a swap. We're one of the few states that allow you to deduct your federal income taxes from your state taxes. So we're trying to do away with that while also lowering the rate. And if we can accomplish this, we'll have one of the lowest income tax rates in the South. The problem, of course, is that Texas doesn't have a personal income tax rate, nor does Florida. So we're competing against those other 2 states. But when you look at all of the southern states, if we can accomplish this tax swap, we'll have one of the lowest personal income tax rates in the South, that's a big deal. That's how you recruit people here. That's how you attract them. And look, I think ultimately we need to try to look at phasing out the personal income tax here in Louisiana. I think it'll make us extremely competitive. The problem with that is it's all about money. You gotta make sure all the numbers work. If you're sacrificing all that revenue, you got to pick it up somewhere else.
And politically, that's a tough overhaul, right?
Oh, it's extremely tough. I mean, we've been working on some of these things, since I got into the legislature. I talked with one of the guys last night, actually, who was the former chair of that tax committee, and he was like, we've tried this stuff for 10, 15 years and never could get it accomplished. And we're kind of on the cusp of being able to do some of that this year. So, I mean, it's boring, especially for a show that talks about sports a lot, but it's so important to make sure that our state stays competitive and just we can start moving up in some of those rankings.
Chairman of the House and Governmental Affairs Committee, Representative John Stefanski, joining us inside of the UDL again here on the Jordy Culotta Show, which we so much appreciate. Before we get to name, image, and likeness, because I know that that's coming up pretty soon here, marijuana saw some success, but also saw some changes since the last time we spoke to you and Representative McGee. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, marijuana has been a dominant theme over there this year, and kind of like we talked last time, I never thought we'd be having a lot of these conversations, but we had some representatives, some younger representatives like me who are pushing that issue, and this is the furthest recreational has ever gone, and then medicinal. So a lot of people, we took up the recreational tax for a vote, not the legalization, but just, hey, let's see.
How do you price it?
Yeah, how do you price it? And that failed because it was a 2/3 vote. However, if you look at what we've passed, we've really made huge leaps forward. You can now, I believe, very shortly, you can be able to smoke medicinal, okay? And then so that's a big change. Prior to that, you could only get the oil, basically, or you could get it in a vape pen. Now you're going to be able to smoke as we call it, the raw form, the raw crude form, which is the traditional marijuana.
Flower.
The flower, yeah. So I think you're going to be able to do that very shortly. And then the big thing is we changed how you can prescribe it last year. We said basically for any debilitating condition. So, we opened that wide up. So now you're going to be able to smoke it and get prescribed it, but for any of those issues. And then thirdly, we're decriminalizing the possession of it. So New Orleans did this probably 4 years ago. New Orleans changed the way they treat people when they pick you up for possession of marijuana. And they said if you have it under a certain amount, they basically just issue a citation. They cannot arrest you. It's basically like getting a speeding ticket, or maybe like an open container.
Literally jaywalking.
Yeah, no, it is. And so we're trying to move that statewide, and so that's a huge shift in the mindset as well. So I know there are some people who may be frustrated we're not moving fast enough for them, but we've made some huge leaps from where Louisiana was just a couple short years ago. So marijuana is, I think, going to continue to be a dominant theme and continue to be something that we talk about. Now, I think recreational is coming. It's probably maybe not next year, but it's the next. And I've moved up that timeline significantly just from what I've seen. I think it's coming pretty shortly, and I think everybody's accepting that realization. So some big changes there. I really, unless you're trying to distribute marijuana here in Louisiana from a possession standpoint, it's pretty much moving. It's pretty much going to be kind of legal, after this year, I think. And again, all that subject to the governor has to sign off. But I think he was telling all of us he was going to veto recreational, basically. But I think with these medicinal changes we've made and the decriminalization from a small amount, I think he's going to sign off on both those things. So some big changes on that front as well.
Representative John Stefanski headed over to the Capitol once he leaves here today. Of course, session. And as he said in the last week, name, image, and likeness on the floor. You're a part of the bill.
Yeah, so Senator Connick asked me to carry it. I know he came on your show and talked about it, and shortly thereafter, or maybe right before that, he had asked me to carry that bill on the floor, and I'm excited about doing that. It's fun to carry stuff that you're interested in. I get asked to carry so many bills that I could, and I don't want to say care less about, but I just do. I get asked to carry all kind of other senators' bills because for the process for your listeners. So if I'm a House member and I file a bill, well, I bring that through the process. I bring it to committee, to the House floor, and to the Senate committee. But when you get over on the Senate side, I can't go on their floor and carry a bill. I have to find a senator to do that for me.
Almost like a lobbyist, right?
Exactly, kind of. Yeah, you have to fight. You have to coach somebody up and be like, "Hey, look, here's what I need you to go advocate for," and the senators have to do the same thing. So we team up, and Senator Connick was a rep with me, so he and I have a good relationship, and it's a cool subject matter. Again, the name, image, and likeness, and what they're doing is very cool. It's different than what some of the other states are doing from a licensing standpoint as well. A lot of the other states, there's 15 states that have passed it. There's about 23 with it currently in the works right now. So, you can see it's a huge trend around the country. Everybody's kind of rushing to make sure.
Is that where we are?
We're one of the 23, exactly. But what we have, or what Senator Connick was very smart to write in the law, is a licensing aspect from the school perspective. So the school has the ability to be able to kind of almost contract with that student athlete and say, while you're doing these commercials, while you're using your name, image, and likeness, you can use the brand as well. And that, you might think, oh, well, that means the school's going to be able to get paid. And I think in some cases it'll work like that, but much more, I think the school's going to say, as long as you're promoting something that we agree with, we want you wearing the brand.
Right.
That's going to attract people to Louisiana. Let's say the best example is the gymnast, Livy Dunn.
Yes.
All right. So Olivia Dunn, I think her name is, and so she has millions of followers on Instagram, and I think on probably Twitter and or TikTok. Yeah, I think TikTok's her big one. And so let's say she by the way, she's gonna be a millionaire overnight.
Yes,
I mean
like instantly.
Look at people with those amounts of followers on Instagram, and I mean they do. They make $10,000 a month. You know,
I mean,
10,
with
12,
one hit of the button, you speak to 1 million people.
Exactly.
You know how powerful that is for a corp. I mean, it's huge.
Absolutely. So she's gonna cash in from day one. But I mean, honestly, isn't that how it should be? Why is she different than another one of her peers who's not an athlete?
Yep.
You know, and so, but anyway, so let's say she's promoting something, or somebody else, you know, the next Joe Burrow, Max Johnson, you know, is promoting something that LSU agrees with. Well, they want the brand, you want the logo, you want to recruit other kids, you want to ingrain that in them, that LSU is a cool place and where you can find similar success. So I really think that's going to be a huge thing, because other states don't necessarily have that in their language. And so I think you see they're going to be rushing to make sure that they have that as well.
That's a hell of a recruiting tool.
It's a very powerful recruiting tool.
You have not seen a lot of pushback.
No, it's been an easy ride.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you, I think Coach Mulkey, you know, I really do. I put the credit on her. She was so powerful when she came to the Capitol, and we talked about that last time. She mentioned that bill. It's one of the first times I've ever seen that. And I think some of the opposition, because go back and watch that original Senate committee, there were a lot of like, oh, I don't know, you know.
Hemming and hawing.
Yeah, we're turning our students into you know, professionals now, and they can have agents, that is a little. That we are wading into something there. You know, I'll finish this statement, then we'll get on that. But I mean, I really do think after she came to the Capitol and she made that comment, you know, let's send it.
She's been here for a day, and she's like, let me get up to the court. Let's see what's going on over there. I got some things to say. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
100%.
And it did. And I think it kind of changed the tide. So, yeah, I think I don't think I have a very heavy lift today. Okay.
Sure.
I think most people are going to agree with me. I think
if you have any trouble, just call her.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'll keep her on the phone. Maybe put her on the mic real
FaceTime
quick.
her.
But look, the one scary thing about the bill, though, is they have the ability to hire basically an agent. Mm-hmm. You know, it's an agent to go out there.
There is a dark side to it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, think about that. So if you're going to have you can't have an agent for your professional skills. So your football player can't have an agent that's going to be able to represent him theoretically at the combine, at the draft. But you can have an agent to go out there and get you sponsorships.
Right. Exactly.
Well, there's a fine line there, you know, and a lot of people might say, well, this stuff is going on already, you know, just let it happen. But man, once you formally allow that stuff, it's going to be tough. But at the same time, we need to be able to compete. And I think from a fairness standpoint, athletes, again, I say that, I mean, why should they be different than anybody else just because they play a sport? I think there's a strong argument just from a fairness standpoint that this is the right thing to do.
You are a sports fan at heart, which is kind of the initiated this relationship.
Yeah, for sure, man.
How much do you guys look at what's going on in Memphis and say the Pelicans should be in the playoffs?
No, I mean, look, I think, you know, and I'm a big Pelicans fan. The frustrating thing for me about the Pelicans season this year is you look at the talent and they have spurts where they're so good, and then this young, they break down. But you know, I'm really interested to see what they're going to do in the offseason. To me, the biggest decision is Lonzo Ball. You know, so what do you do with Lonzo? Do you give him a max extension, which is what he's going to want? You know, that's basically your core after that. Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Lonzo.
Yep.
That's it for probably your next 5 years, and most of Zion's big years going into his extension. Or do you say we're not going to tie our hands and we're going to go out and try to find a free agent or a trade to bring that third star in? And I mean, I know what I would do. You know, I like Lonzo, I like his game, but I don't like him as a max player.
Yeah.
I don't like him as a max player.
You know who'd be good on this team is Drew Holiday.
Right.
Ironically, huh?
That's right.
But I mean, there's some guys. Look around me. Look, Damian Lillard. You know, it looks like
he wants out.
It looks like he's might be coming to the end of that relationship. He would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, he'd be the alpha.
He'd be perfect. The guy, C.J. McCollum, his teammate, I think would be great on this team. Bradley Beal would be amazing. You know, there's 4 or 5 guys out there that might be available over the next year or two that could be perfect. And the problem for the Pelicans is that Lonzo decision. If you lock him up, you lose some flexibility. And yeah, maybe you could always trade him down the line for one of those big pieces. But that's as a fan, I'm watching that very closely. And for Louisiana as well, we want basketball to be viable in this state. Yeah. You know, if we want to maintain our professional team, and we don't want to have the conversation about, or should the Pelicans be in Seattle, because that's what I keep hearing every time I read something. We need them to be successful, and they've cashed in with Lonzo. I mean, they have. Yes. I mean, not Lonzo. I'm sorry, with Zion. And I mean, they have one of the future superstars of the league, and he's shown he can stay healthy over this year. So we really need to maximize him and make sure that he's around for the long haul. You know, we can find some success. I saw, I had lunch at Walk-Ons the other day, and everybody, I didn't realize until after I thought about it, everybody was in town for the camp.
For the camp.
Yeah, and so I saw the Johnson crew, which I know are big supporters of
Big
your
Bad
show.
Brad.
Big Bad Brad played a little 18 at Baton Rouge Country Club this weekend.
Yeah, I looked to my left as we were sitting down for lunch, and there was the crew, the entire family crew was next to me, so that was pretty cool. And they're all much bigger when you're right next to them.
They are.
Yeah.
That's his. He married Mark Richt's sister.
Really? Okay.
So I mean, and she was like a world-class swimmer. I mean, they are a family full of athletes. Are you hearing about Jack Besh on the impact that he's already making? I mean, they've already got packages built in for him.
Yeah, he's the real deal. You know, like we talked again last, that's so cool to see again from kind of the Acadiana area. And going back last year, like we talked about, watching him and Walker was cool. And yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch him. You know, he's one of those guys I think everybody's gonna be able to root for. And yeah, it's exciting. I think it's an exciting year. I'm just more excited we finally get to get back in the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Huh? How cool do the NBA playoffs look with the fans in the stands? I mean,
absolutely. And not being in that weird bubble situation, and it was weird watching the Lakers go out the other day.
It was.
You
know, it wasn't close, Coach.
No,
I mean it wasn't. It was.
I mean,
they could have played 12 of those games.
They would have started off 25-12 every time.
It doesn't matter.
And CP3 still getting it done. You know, it's amazing. You take that team. It wasn't even a playoff team last year. You pop him on there, and they might be going to the Western Conference Finals, which is pretty cool. And then the Lakers. You know, I didn't, as a Pelicans fan, I didn't like the whole AD thing. It rubbed me the wrong way, and so. You know, I don't wish it ill on anybody, but it's nice that the Lakers.
You don't have to wish ill on him. He'll do it to himself.
You knew he was going to miss a big game.
Yeah.
It was just too much in his nature.
Yeah, but we winding up session though. Look, I'm looking forward to, like I said, getting back home and being done and taking a break. And but we accomplished some big things this session. I think if we can get some of those tax reform pieces done, you know, things like the NIL, things like sports betting. Things like some of the marijuana changes I've told you. I think we are progressing. You know, we're moving. We're having conversations that I think we really haven't had before in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And when things just make sense, I think that we're much more willing to just make changes now. And it's exciting.
Are you surprised that the tides have changed like that quickly with all three of these things almost being passed this year?
I think it's people, the new blood up at the Capitol.
Like college basketball.
Yeah.
The new faces.
It's young people, man. I mean, we had I was here all weekend because we had a Young Republicans forum.
I saw you on social media.
So we had a Young Republicans forum and went and talked to a bunch of young Republicans. You know, so it's all college age Republicans, and we talked about that. We were like, it's that group, you know, just all has a similar mindset. If stuff makes sense and we think it's going to make a change for the better, let's just do it. Let's not, you know, let's not hesitate. And it's different. Look, a guy in his 30s and a guy in his 60s are going to think two different ways, you know, and it's a more willingness to change, and I think it's only going to be for the better in Louisiana. Hell, it can't get any worse.
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's try something different.
Honest, man.
I mean, don't you love to hear your politicians speak like that? Just recognize the truth and go out there and make some change, man.
It can't. You know, our roads can't get any worse.
We all see the same shit.
Yeah, right.
This isn't good.
I mean, education's bad, traffic's terrible. I mean, just where do we look? Where do we go? I mean,
yeah, you know, let's shake some stuff up. Let's change the mindset, and you know, and just we need more free thinkers. We do. Mm-hmm. We need more people who think outside of the box and aren't just running for offices so that they can say they're elected and hold the spot. We need people that are actually want to try to change stuff. And,
get me in there.
It's tough,
easy,
man.
Easy.
Yeah, change is not easy, but I think we're headed in the right direction. I hope. If ever I feel like we're not, I'm getting out because this job will wear you down. But it's it has its highs and its lows like everything else.
Representative John Stefanski out of District 42, man, the best out of Crowley. We told you Government Affairs Committee. He is the chair there, overseeing redistricting for the first time in 10 years. That's coming up here in Louisiana politics, and we always appreciate the access.
Yeah,
very
for
much.
sure, man. Anytime, I appreciate the ability to be able to talk about these issues, which are important, in a cool setting,
Yes.
not a newspaper reporter, who picks what quote they want to use.
Right.
This is cool, and yeah, look, man, some big things on the horizon, and good luck to LSU tonight, huh? It's been fun watching them. I'd like to watch some more games. So
Absolutely.
hopefully it
Feels
keeps rolling.
like it.
Watch him play in Knoxville.
Yeah, just not at 9 p.m., huh?
Right.
Man, I was
Jeez.
passed out well before
Second
I
inning.
knew it was going to happen.
Woke up and got updated on Twitter at 3 a.m.
They're still playing.
They won. Good to see you.
Absolutely, man.
See you, man. Yeah, good luck. Representative John Stefanski checking in here at the UDL Daily. We are brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. Get in touch with our friend Barrett Blondo over there at Falaya, where he is changing the game in the way that real estate is sold. If you want to sell your house by yourself and save thousands, call Barrett this morning, 225-939-6153, or log online to falaya.com. We'll close out hour one and get set up for Walker Howard coming up here in a couple of minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Geaux Chevrolet.
To a PlayStation.
Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculotta.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show presented by Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, daily we are brought to you by Johnson Spillers. They are our dentists. Get in touch with them over at johnsonspillers.com. 2 locations, Gonzales and in Baton Rouge. It was a huge weekend for college football recruiting. Campuses all over the country opened up and allowed unofficial, official visitors, camps going on. If you're an LSU fan, some of the pictures that were coming out over the weekend has to have you excited for the future, including one that had Walker Howard, Jake Johnson, Will Campbell,
throwing people around, dude. They were getting it in the trenches.
Some of the who's who in recruiting were there at LSU over the weekend. The quarterback that has the country talking, the 5-star out of St. Thomas More, was put on a display yesterday morning inside of the indoor arena over at LSU. Walker Howard, he is joining us back here on the Jordy Culotta Show on this Monday morning. Good morning, Walk. How are you, man?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, you know where we can pick up a good PlayStation?
Whatever.
How many times have you heard
Not that
dude?
funny. Not that funny.
Who is it? I got my money on Will Campbell. Who is hacking you? Do you know who it is?
Yeah, probably is Will Campbell. You know, he probably is. Probably trying to get the 10K before me, so that's probably what he did.
Name, image, and likeness.
That's right, man.
Dude, the best racket he could be running if he's actually selling PlayStations. He'd be like, dude, I'm not.
I texted him. My kid was looking for one. I was like,
That
hey,
was
man,
awesome.
this might be out of bounds, but are you selling? He was like, bro, are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
I wish I was on PS5.
He's got 50 of them.
That was the best text.
That was good,
like,
dude.
what?
Yeah, he's like, what? How cool was the weekend? What was it like to be around all the boys?
It was a great weekend, finally getting back on campus, recruiting on campus with the kids, seeing the coaches. It was just a blast. I was there for Thursday to Sunday. I had so much fun with Coach Beats and all the guys up there.
What was it like putting on the helmet yesterday, working alongside some of the state's best, some of the country's best, and being tutored by Pete's and Mangus like you were yesterday? That was some good video and good scenes that were coming out of LSU. How about from your point of view?
It was it was really a great time. And with Coach Pete, he brought a lot of energy yesterday, and I had a blast. He had so much energy bouncing around. I mean, it was never a dull moment yesterday. And you know, I got better yesterday, and I can't wait to go to the next one with Coach Pete to get better even more.
What are they emphasizing for you to improve on? What are they urging you to work on this summer in the offseason going into your senior year?
So the thing I did yesterday was really I went to go throw with the recruits and throw with Coach Pete in person. This is the first time he saw me throw in person since he's been recruiting me. So we kind of worked on footwork, making sure my hips were lining up straight to the target, and slinging it to the receivers, to our commits.
You were letting it go, bro. What's the chemistry like with some of those guys? Are you starting to build that chemistry with this class on the field? You guys seem like you've got great camaraderie off the field, but as you guys work on the field together, how fast are you guys picking it up?
Absolutely. I threw with Jake Johnson yesterday. I mean, that is the best. That's one of the best players in the country, and there's no doubt about it. He is a stud. He's elite, and it was so easy throwing to that dude. He caught everything I threw at him.
What was your Elite 11 experience like?
Elite 11 was a good time. I had a thumb issue during that time, and finally, this is my first time throwing in public at LSU since I'm feeling better, and I can't wait to get there for the finals and compete.
How different does the vibe around LSU feel? Does it feel like there's a lot of energy around just the campus and the football team in general from last year?
There's no doubt the leadership of all the quarterbacks in the room. I was around with every single quarterback, and they all brought the same energy. They were all motivating. They were all being great leaders, and you couldn't tell who the starting quarterback was because everyone was leading the team. It was awesome being around those kind of guys, and I mean, they're gonna have a great season this year, and I'm excited to watch them.
This might be too early for you to tell, but I've seen you in both. I've seen you in 15, and I've seen you in 4 in LSU gear. Do you know what you're going to wear when you get to LSU?
I think I'm going to try to rock that 1.5 next year.
Okay. What is your emphasis this summer? What are you looking to get better at as far as the position goes?
This year, I want to get the mental part of the game. I want to just keep getting better because you never can be too good at the mental part of the game. And just be ready for next year, my senior season. Everyone's saying that we're not going to be as good as last year, and I'm excited to, prove them all wrong once again for another state championship.
The state's top player, one of the nation's top quarterbacks, an LSU commit who was working out in front of the LSU offensive staff on Sunday morning, Walker Howard, joining us here going into his senior year off of a state championship junior season down at St. Thomas More. What was the interaction like with new offensive line coach Brad Davis?
So we couldn't really hang out with the coach. Couldn't see him yet because of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we couldn't hang out with him just yet because he had a bunch of paperwork. We couldn't see him yet. So, but I think he's going to go over all the film and watch what he likes.
Walker, how different was I guess you're one of the lucky ones, right? I mean, I think of guys like Jack Besh, who was a former teammate of yours, who went through recruiting as one of the top guys in the cycle, but wasn't able to get on campus and work out for coaches. I mean, there's a lot of sentiment if Besh would have been able to go to a camp last summer, he'd have had an LSU offer for over a year. What was it like being on a campus and just being at a camp and being around other people that were out there fighting for spots and offers and competing, compared to where you came from last summer, where you were kind of one of the top rising players in the country and you couldn't get out and touch campuses and see people?
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. It felt really good to get out there and actually throw in front of a college coach, because you're going to all these other events and you're kind of just throwing in front of other people, social media guys, and finally getting to throw in front of your future coaches. It was special, and getting on campus, getting in a routine about how the next 4 or 5 years will be for you. It was awesome.
Last one, I'll get you out of here. Appreciate your time, man. What's the rest of the summer like for you as far as camps, visits, travel, 7-on-7? What's the rest of the off season look like for you?
So I got a Future 50 camp next weekend at IMG, and then I have Elite 11 coming at the end of June. And then that's going to wrap up, and I'm going to go try to hang out at LSU as much as possible, pop in, watch, hop in a meeting as much as I can, get it over there, and start recruiting some guys.
Walker, have a great summer, man. This is going to be one of the summers that you remember for the rest of your life, bro. This is going to be an awesome
BMOC, dude.
Next couple of months. We always appreciate the access and the time. We'll be in touch. Thank you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you all.
You got it, man. There is Walker Howard. Checking in, one of the state's best after some of the workouts yesterday. Julie Boudouin had great video of Walker yesterday working out and throwing the football, and he's just got one of those natural.
You have to see it once,
and
you
just whoa. I mean, good Lord. I mean, every piece of the field is in play.
I feel bad for the people that are doubting him and that St. Thomas More team, because that's what we've stuck in his mind right now. He's like, yeah, we'll go back. You have the best player in the state, thinking he's an underdog. That's a state championship.
Well, I mean, the football has become such a passing game. I mean, even on the youth fields, it's become this quick pass spread game where it really and truly, I mean, if you've got a quarterback, you're in play. It doesn't matter really what else. I mean, for the way that offenses are put together today and the ability for them to quick strike and score quick, and if you've got a trigger guy,
makes it easy, dude. You give everybody, you got a shot.
You got a shot. And if you're still relying on maybe some old school principles of thinking you can go in there and run the ball and steal clock, and it's not like that anymore if you have a quarterback on the other sideline. And a kid like Walker Howard in high school football, he could potentially put a team like St. Thomas More, who's got players all over the place, right? And they're going to be well coached. He could put a team on his back.
He's going to get somebody an offer.
He put a team on his back and take him to a state championship like that. I mean, easily. So we appreciate the time that Howard has given us and the access into what is a wild, I'm sure, recruiting ride now that campuses are back open and allowing official visitors on campus. It's great to hear from Walker Howard. Remember, we're brought to you daily by AdvantaClean. It is easy to get in touch with Bradley Lynch and the AdvantaClean experience. I have been telling you about the AdvantaClean experience from third-hand stories and from some of the testimonials that I was reading online. Now I tell you this from my own experience as a customer and an AdvantaClean and who got the AdvantaClean experience after my home flooded just over 2 weeks ago. My first call was to Bradley Lynch. He was here. He was here answering questions, helping me out with the insurance, helping me out with the contractors. And now all of that stuff is happening, and the house is being put back together. The AdvantaClean experience is easy to figure out for you if you've got water, fire, or mold around the house. If you see water, you smell mold, you see fire damage or smoke damage, get in touch with Bradley Lynch over at AdvantaClean, 225-369-5228, 225-369-5228, or online at advantaclean.com, AdvantaClean.com for AdvantaClean of Baton Rouge. Sonny Shipp covers recruiting for Go 247. He was at LSU this weekend. He's going to stop by next for a couple of minutes and give us names. He's going to give us outlooks. He's going to give us offers. We'll also ask him about the Le'Veon Moss recruitment. What that means is Moss, the top player from Baton Rouge here at Estruma, a four-star running back committed to Nick Saban and the Tide over the weekend. What's that mean for his recruitment with LSU? A couple of minutes with Sonny Shipp next here on the Jordy Culotta Show presented by Geaux Chevrolet. Sniped. Where's that sniper at? Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022, 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. Welcome back into the Jordy Culotta Show, presented live by Geaux Chevrolet every single day. Good friends, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. One of those stories where you don't know how much one member of the team means to it unless you don't have them here.
Right, you don't miss it till it's gone.
This would be a good time for Katie Alligood to ask for a raise because her worth was very much highlighted.
She's on that
last
Will Wade
week.
climb.
This place feels like a college dormitory without her for a week here.
Well, yeah, we had 3 boys in here. It was me, Jack, Noah, and the 4 boys, Jordy. Yeah. And then it's like, yeah, this place has turned into an absolute shit show.
I'm glad I can't breathe, or I would be able to smell what it's really like in here.
I'm glad you can't either, to be
That's
honest.
the reason I can't breathe.
One of our favorite resources is the crew over at Go 247, and one of the original gangsters of covering recruiting, following recruiting, bringing it to the masses for LSU is Sonny Shipp, one of the Dons, man. There's a feeling when you see him walking around the fields, you know you're in the right place.
An offer is lurking.
Absolutely. He had a great write-up yesterday on 4-star wide receiver Omar Miller, who got a offer from LSU, one of the names that we'll talk about here with Sonny Shipp. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, man. Just because I'm old as dirt doesn't make me a Don, dude.
It wasn't even a shot at your age, bro. Just about how long and how good you've been doing it, man. And if anybody can make an age joke, bro, check out the 40-year-old that's balding on YouTube every morning.
Hey, bro, 5-0 in December. 5-0 in December.
You wear it well, Sonny Shipp. A who's who of LSU at LSU this weekend, Sonny. It felt like a red carpet entertainment on over the weekend at LSU. What did you make of the weekend?
Yeah, man, it was. And this was their first opportunity to have any kind of camps or anything in 2 years. And so to be able to have, they probably had, if I had to estimate, I'd say at least 150, 200 O-line, D-line there on Saturday. But hell, yesterday, man, it was between 700 to 800 kids crammed inside that indoor facility. You add another 300 to 400 parents on the sidelines, and sardines would be an understatement.
Right.
It was just crazy. There were so many people in there, but almost too many. The good thing is they got to go outdoors in the afternoon, so they were able to kind of separate them a little bit. But most of the dogs who were there in the morning, like Walker Howard, Jake Johnson, a lot of those guys, they did everything they needed to do in that morning session. And man, it was a spectacle. But I think the highlight of the weekend was watching big Quincy Wiggins, just a monster defensive end, going against Will Campbell, the future left tackle for LSU. And if LSU can reel in Quincy Wiggins, this guy, I think he's a guy you're going to see shoot up the recruiting rankings between now and when he signs. You talk about wearing something well. That dude he said he weighed in at 270 at Ole Miss on Friday, and I have no idea where he carries it because he looks like he's about 245 and just ripped and chiseled.
6'7", 270 was the count on Quincy Wiggins, the defensive end at Madison Prep. This cat is, you have to see to believe up close, and to see him going one-on-one with Will Campbell. You were there. What was that fight like?
I've been doing this 23 years now, going to camps and everything and stuff, and watching Quincy Wiggins and Will Campbell go at it. They probably went at it about 6 or 7 times. But that series of one-on-ones for an O-lineman and a D-lineman is the best that I've ever seen at a camp. And, I'm talking, we've seen Lael Collins at camps. We've seen, we saw the 2014 guys, Gerald Willis and Cam Robinson and those guys. But watching Wiggins and Will Campbell, it gave you that feeling that you're watching truly one of the top 3 to 5 defensive ends in the country going up against one of the top 3 to 5 offensive tackles in the country. It had that feel to it, like both of these guys could get on a college football field right now and be in the mix as true freshmen at 17 years old.
Campbell and the rest of the offensive line commitments. We talked to Bo Bordelon on Friday morning. Did you get any feedback on what bringing Brad Davis into the fold means for those guys? It looked like it was solid. The pictures of Campbell in the purple and gold with the visor is one of the most finest recruiting pictures I've ever seen.
The hug with O.
Yeah, and Will Campbell and Bo Bordelon, I mean, those two guys, I mean, Mickey Mouse could be the offensive line coach next year, and it wouldn't affect those two guys, man. You know, I mean, those two guys are just LSU bred for you know, ever since they were little. You know, but the good thing is that you had guys like Cam Dewberry, Kelvin Banks, a 5-star offensive tackle out of Houston. You had Julian Armetta, a big high caliber 4-star offensive tackle out of South Florida. And while Brad Davis, while he was really limited in really what he could even watch over the weekend, just the overall vibe from talking to sources, from talking to guys out there and stuff, was that that he was very well received. That when they mentioned, you know, who the new offensive line coach was going to be and stuff, that it was just it was a slam dunk. It was a home run. They were excited about it. They were pumped up about it.
One of the offers that went out over the weekend that looks like a potential offensive lineman is Fitzgerald West, who's over at Lafayette Christian. He picked up an offer on Saturday morning at the offensive line, defensive line camp. What do you know about him? What do you anticipate from him?
Yeah, he measured in at 6'1.5", so kind of on that shorter side for even really an offensive guard. But they liked what they saw of him at center. They worked him out at guard. They worked him out at center. They worked him out at defensive tackle. After the morning session, they took him over in the end zone. They let him snap some shotgun snaps to see how quickly he picked that up. And then they went ahead and they pulled the trigger after that. And it's going to be interesting to see. I know initially he felt like he really did good as a defensive tackle, and I think he did too. But I think his future at a place like LSU at a high level P5 is going to have to be center. You know, but the good thing about it is with his versatility is you bring him in. If you get a log jam at center, you don't have to worry about this kid hitting the transfer portal, because then you can say, okay, you wanted your shot at defensive tackle?
Go ahead.
Let's get over there. Let's see what you got. And I think those kind of guys are great, because with everybody now, if the depth chart gets too clogged up, if somebody has a bad day or something, you know, the first thing they think about is like, okay, well, I can enter the portal and I can go somewhere else. Well, no, there's over 2,000 kids in the portal right now, and a lot of them aren't going to play again. So you might want to stick it out. And so having that versatility to where you can put him at another position, I just think that that's tremendous in this day and age of recruiting. It's going to be interesting to see whether, you know, if initially the offensive line offer was not something that he really was excited about. But then once the offer came, his tune kind of changed a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Tulanes, the ULLs of the world, maybe some other G5 schools can convince him that, hey, you know, we love you as a defensive tackle. Come on, play the position that you really want to play. Or if he jumps on that LSU offer when he has a commitment ceremony already set up for July 11th. And, you know, I've got a feeling that because I know that from talking to him when he was a sophomore, you know, he wanted that LSU offer. Well, I don't think he ever thought that it was going to come, but he went there on Saturday. He put on the show for the coaches, and he got that offer. So now it's going to be interesting to see if Coach O and Brad Davis, if they can convince him to do what I said. Come in as an offensive lineman. If it doesn't work, you move to the defensive side.
Sonny Shipp, he covers recruiting over at Go 247. You can follow him on Twitter at Sonny Shipp 247 if you're looking for the latest. Tell me about 4-star wide receiver from North Louisiana, Omar Miller.
Yeah, that dude had one of the better catches of the day. Dakotas Crawford, who's the 2022 commitment out of Green Oaks, I thought he had the best day of any wide receivers. That, you know, he went there with some question marks, but he showed really strong hands. I mean, he was tenacious, just taking balls from DBs and stuff. But Omari Miller probably had the best catch of the day. Just a ball that was underthrown. He went up, you know, high pointed the ball, ended up scooping it up off the ground. It was really just one of those odd plays with the DB pushing him and stuff, and then he ended up making the catch. And after that catch, you're like, okay, this guy can play here, you know. And LSU knew about him. I mean, he's got offers from Miami, Mississippi State. He's got some, you know, he's got big Power 5 offers and stuff. But they just wanted to see him in person. And they saw enough pretty quickly. An interesting note on him is that I saw one of his coaches also coached Terrace Marshall in high school at a 7-on-7 event, and he compared Omarion to Terrace Marshall as far as at that respective stage of their careers, getting ready to go into his junior season. But he said, look, this isn't a knock on Terrace either, because Terrace is going to make his money in the NFL. This was before the draft, but you knew he was going to go high. And he said, but I think Omarion has a higher ceiling because of what he can do with his quickness. He said his short area quickness is better than Terrace, and he also has that long speed like Terrace has. So that's pretty that's a pretty lofty comparison, to make, and especially coming from a guy who coached both of those kids.
This class, Sonny, you mentioned the experience that you have in this industry and covering recruiting. When I look at this 22 group and the state of Louisiana specifically, I know that they've got guys like Lucas Taylor from Mobile. They've got guys like Jake Johnson from Atlanta. But when you look at the state this year in this cycle, how special of a group is this one?
Well, anytime you have three guys, you have 3 5-stars at the top of your state list. It's going to be a good class. You got Walker Howard, Will Campbell, and Jacoby Matthews, all 3 committed to LSU, all 3 5-stars, and really all 3 at positions of need in this class. You couldn't ask for a better setup in that scenario for LSU filling those needs. But the good thing about it is that you've got a deep crop after those, that first tier elite group. Quincy Wiggins, I think he's, when I look at the state rankings and stuff now, I'm going to recommend that he's number 4 in the state.
Wow.
Whether or not he gets there, I don't know, but I think that at the end of the day, if he plays in an All-American game, and he goes somewhere and he works out for a week like he did on Saturday in front of our national guys, where they can actually put a look on that frame and see him, what he does on the field, go back and look at his film again, then I think he's a guy who has a chance to be a 5-star too at the end of the day. So you're talking about what I consider 4 5-star caliber guys in the state of Louisiana. That doesn't happen too often. You go back, you look at the 2014 class with Leonard Fournette, Speedy Noyle, all those guys. That's one that jumps out at you. 2011, when you had Kenny Hilliard, Anthony Johnson, Lael Collins, that's one that jumps out at you. You go way back into the Nick Saban days at LSU. You had the Marquise Hill, Marcus Spencer, Michael Clayton class, Andrew Whitworth. That was just a huge, big-time class. But I think this 2022 class has a chance to be mentioned, in that same breath. And you're not just tossing it in there to make headlines. You're putting it in there because of the quality of guys that you have at this stage of their careers.
One for you on the way out here on Le'Veon Moss. Moss is a highly talented running back from Estruma, which it has been a while since Estruma has put out some top recruits, and Moss is as good as they've produced in a long time. He goes to Alabama over the weekend and commits to the Tide. What's that mean for his recruitment in LSU?
Yeah, it's it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Alabama already has they've already got a highly touted guy committed in this class. They've got a pretty deep stock of running backs, and I mean LSU's got its share of running backs too, but they're a little bit older, and John Emery and Tyrion Davis-Price, who are entering their junior year. But I think LSU's going to still recruit him and see what they can do. Committing on a visit high like that. Once you get back home, you talk to the LSU coaches, you talk to the people close to home and stuff, then, that might leave some doors open. And I mean, hell, we still got 5 months to go until anybody can sign. And see if he pops up on campus during this contact period that ends the last week of June, and then just have to see what happens. But it was a surprise that he went ahead and that he pulled the trigger coming off the visit. But I mean, hey, he had the picture, of in the Bama uniform. Nick Saban had about 4 or 5 championship rings on his fingers. So, they impressed him with that visit. But I don't think it's over by any means. You just got a long ways to go. And then you got kids who haven't been able to take visits and get that red carpet treatment for, ever since they've started their recruitment. So, you go, you take that first visit and you feel good about it. And now you come home and then you got to say, okay, do I really want to be in Tuscaloosa?
Sonny Shipp, covering recruiting over at Go 247. Make sure you follow him on Twitter if you are not already doing that. Read the material online at 247sports.com. Appreciate the interaction and stopping by this morning. It's always good to catch up, man.
Absolutely, man. Take it easy, my brother.
You got it. There's Sonny Shipp checking in this morning over at Go 247, talking recruiting. That was a great piece there on the weekend that was for LSU and how they grow there. They've got 13 commitments in the class for LSU, and as Sonny said, 3 of them 5-star guys. When you talk about Walker Howard, Will Campbell, and Jacoby Matthews all being from the state of Louisiana, and if you have not seen the video of Quincy Wiggins, Julie Boudwin's got that. Let's see if we can't retweet that or post that somewhere of Wiggins and Will Campbell. They're one-on-one on Saturday.
Borderline contentious.
It was.
It was getting,
well, I mean,
that's what you're going after it, though.
You got 2 dudes.
It's hard to, that's got to be hard to, monitor as a coach. I mean, they're going full tilt almost. They're going at each other. So I don't know how much they want that to happen.
It's a quick whistle.
Oh, yeah.
It was a quick whistle, but I mean, arms extended.
That's what I'm saying.
All up in their neck.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, you know, you got to be strong cat to hold Will Campbell. That Quincy Wiggins guy, man. I mean, his size, stature, speed, and physique. Daryl Owens, who we talked to, who put us in touch with Brandon Jacobs. That was our connection there. Daryl Owens sent me a picture of Quincy Wiggins a year and a half ago and was like, just telling you, look out. This guy is going to be, and to see him and Campbell going at it and I agree with Sonny. I can't believe that cat's not a 5-star. I mean, but in a All-American type setting where you can put him in front of a bunch of national dudes, see his size, his physique, his speed, his strength, he is definitely one of the most dominant players in this cycle. And
that's what it takes for some of these guys. They just haven't been seen by anybody. All you have is tape, but then when you see the Adonis take the shirt off, you're like, oh, he's different.
Right. All right, so I hate to do this because I see that we've got great numbers inside of our platforms, and we appreciate everybody for being there. But I got to get little Jay to a camp this morning.
Resume builder.
Yes, indeed. It is good to have Katie back. As she was out last week, she is definitely under the weather.
That was so weak. That was the
Sorry,
weakest
you
thing
didn't
I've
come
ever
out.
heard.
It's good to be back.
There you go.
For Lizzie, for the 2 college kids with the dog ate my homework excuses.
Unbelievable, dude.
A little transmission and flat tire for you on a Monday morning.
The guy works at a bar. Yeah, right, dude.
Good show here on this Monday morning. Walker Howard. If you missed it, make sure we will have that. We will have that up for you here today. Sonny Shipp, great insight on recruiting. Mason Katz talking LSU baseball
Back
with
tomorrow.
the Tigers game win with a winner take all tonight in Eugene. I love LSU where they go into tonight to versus Oregon, and then Representative John Stefanski on the last week of session. As you could see it in his face, man, he's ready to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, he's done. He's cooked.
He's tapped out, bro.
What more can I say?
I mean, I was like, this is going by pretty slow. He's like, what?
When you said that, I was like,
He's like, nah, bro, it's going by real slow from our point of view.
Crawling there.
My bad.
Yeah, just like, I'll come to the UDL. I don't want to go back up there, man.
That's right. All of that brought back to you by R&B Builders. Remember, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew, rnb-builders.com. Our official contractors here on the Jordy Culotta Show, Rhett and the crew, rnb-builders.com. We're back with you tomorrow morning. Same type of vibe tomorrow morning. Mason Katz will be here recapping what LSU does tonight on the baseball diamond. Then Shea Dixon's going to be in for... he's coming off a vacation. You know
that
what I
could
mean?
be good or bad.
Bro.
Sometimes you need the vacation from the vacation.
This is his text. I'll be there at 8 o'clock. I've invited him to stay the 8 o'clock hour where there is just a lot to get into. We'll take listener questions, recruiting, how the class finishes, some of the names that really emerged over the weekend and got offers, what he anticipates from camps.
Eric Gilbert. No, I'm kidding.
But have a great Wednesday. Excuse me.
Whoa.
Oh God.
What? I was looking at something that was
No.
Have a great Monday.
Get out of here, dude.
Have a great Monday. Have a great Monday. Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Tuesday.